Afternoon everyone. So been a little while since I've last made a video on anything. Haven't really been playing pinball that much lately, to be honest. Machines have changed somewhat. I've got a No Good Gophers on the right here, and I've got a Transformers Decepticon LE, but I've still got my trusty old Lord of the Rings, and today I'm just going to be adding a little mod, which is this Wizard's Tower mod, which has come from pinworlds.com. I actually got it off Pinside. I believe it's the same people who do the replacement 3D mod here at the back, which I've got sitting there, which is lovely. So just a quick video. We're going to fit it, see how it looks, compare it to the original, etc. And I'm just going to give some thoughts on it. Had my Lord of the Rings quite a long time. It's probably modded out pretty much. I thought I'd done everything I can to. I think the only major thing I'm really missing is a Path of the Dead. I've kind of left that alone in the top left, but probably since you last saw this machine I've added mirror blades. Got the old Palantir eye there that's a lot better. Trying to think what else is on this game. There's a little metal rail to replace the crappy piece of plastic that sits there to prevent ball bounces. I've got the little ramp for the ball coming off Path of the Dead so it didn't smash the plastic. It's got a full sort of yellowy colour plastic protector kit that you could probably see around some of the plastics, the major ones anyway. It's all LED'd up. It's got an LED OCD board in it and colour DMD and topper and everything else you could probably think of. So this is a game that it's sort of a grail game for me, and I don't really plan on letting it go. But today we're putting this little Wizard's Tower mod. So here it is. So it's a nice looking thing. It's just got one connector. Nicely painted. You can buy it unpainted, but I went for a painted version because I'm lazy and not very artistic. Looks like the top of it there lights up. And by the looks of it, if we look at the original, which is just up here in the corner, it looks like it just replaces that top section there. And then we run that cable. There's some instructions to run it behind the Path of the Dead and then under the table and to a connector. I'll talk about the connector in a little bit and things like that. But what we're going to do is I'm going to get my trusty toolkit out. Remove the old one, follow the instructions, and I'll just give some updates as we go, so stay tuned. Okay, well, a little further on, and just for following instructions, what you have to do essentially is take this piece off the top, which is like the tower head, and remove a screw from here. I've actually taken the whole Path of the Dead out because it was only 3 screws and a connector, so just a bit of easier access. You don't have to do that. I'll tell you what though, this piece, there was a screw that kind of faces effectively, if you see me pointing with it like that way, and you need a very, very small headed screwdriver or something to get out because there's absolutely no room otherwise. They did not build this to really ever be taken out once it was in, but you can get it out and it comes apart by the looks of it. So I can separate it, yeah, just into 2 pieces. So I guess I'll put that in the game with some other bits that I have for it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to attach the actual tower itself. So again, a little further on, we've got the tower in place. What the instructions recommends is actually, if you just look back here, to run it behind the second Path of the Dead lamp. So you just take the lamp out, run the cabling through there, and then it will just drop into the cabinet and you can connect it up to the connector point. You could probably also run it under there if you take your Path of the Dead out, because that's where the Path of the Dead connector goes. I might have a look at that, but actually, even though it looks a bit untidy here and you've got this wire sticking out, when you're looking at the game sort of from here, it probably actually makes more sense because you can't actually see that wire when you're looking at it dead on. But if you sort of run it probably through here, it would be a bit more noticeable. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I could always move the wiring later, I suppose. But it looks very nice, actually, in place. And what we've got to do now, effectively, is just reattach the screws. We're going to wire it up. And then we'll see how it looks when it's plugged in. Okay, so got the mod in place. Got Path of the Dead back in, all plugged in. And we've run the connector underneath. And I'll just come round. And under the playfield. So what you'll see here is slightly different to the instructions. I take massive issue with mod makers who expect you to only be able to fit one mod to your machine, because for some reason every mod for Sterns of this era wants to use this one front pin connector. So generally here, and don't think I can quite get better shot. Oh, there we go. So generally here there is one connector which is like an auxiliary plug in the machine. Now I have quite a few mods on this game, so the Palantir Globe, the light up Mount Doom at the back, and now this one, and they all want to use that same flipping connector at the front. So effectively, if you don't have something like this, which is a splitter, you're only ever going to be able to plug one of those light up mods in. I think this thing that I got is actually a really fantastic piece of kit, because like I say, I've actually got 3 mods plugged into it at the moment, and the actual connector that you would normally use to plug into those mods is what powers it. So well worth investing in if you're going to mod lots of games. I'm pretty sure I did a video on it, but if you need one, you can get them from a place called pinballtoys.co.uk. So really worthwhile investing in one of those, like I say, especially if you've got lots of mods. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just come back up. We're going to put the playfield back and turn it on and see how it looks. And there we go, all plugged in and turned on. It actually looks very, very nice. This particular version of the mod, because I bought it painted with LEDs fitting everything, I think it counts about $120, something like that. Now they do a few different versions, so you can get it with white LEDs or red LEDs. You can also buy it in a combo with that 3D printed Mount Doom, which saves you a bit of money, so you can buy both together. I think it's a really nice replacement for the original, because the original is just like a piece of metal. It's actually interesting because this sits on top of most of the original metal tower. What I didn't show in this video is I actually started taking that screw on the left out, and then I reread the instructions and it said don't take this out, only take that one on the right out, because this effectively, it slots over the top. You may have to give it a little bit of a push to get it in the right place. Just don't give it too hard of a push, because just bear in mind I think it is something that's like 3D printed plastic, so it could snap, etc. And then because it sits on top, what you've got down here, and you might notice, is the original tower sitting underneath, and you can see mine's a little bit bashed up if the camera will focus. There's like a sticker there which you can see is worn away through over the years of being played and all the balls smashing into it, etc. But if we just come out and sort of look at how that looks in the actual game, I think that's actually really nice. I think the blue colour actually makes it look a bit different. I mean, it mimics like the tower in the film, because I think it kind of went a blue colour when it sort of it appears in the film. Kind of lights up the little figure there as well. Yeah, so I think if you are well into your modding and you just want another piece of Lord of the Rings to make it look a bit better than what came out of the factory, I mean, that's why I put a lot of these mods on. And that's because I leaned on the button. You know, things like where there's just a picture of Mount Doom, you can get that nice 3D printed model, whereas this tower doesn't look so good. You can get this nice 3D printed tower. It's lovely what people are doing with mods these days. I mean, if we just look over the rest of the game, I'm going to have to come back slightly. It does make it look really, really fantastic. So I'm going to give it a play, see how it looks with it playing. Probably won't record that, but what I'll do is I'll re-record this game at some point in the future, because it's been a while since I've done any videos on it anyway, even gameplay, and it looks a lot different to when I think I recorded it like 4 years ago when I first got it. But overall, I'd give this mod a solid 8 out of 10. I think it's maybe a little bit on the pricey side, being well over $100 for what it is, but you do get it painted, you get it all LED'd, it's really easy to fit. I don't have any criticisms about the mod itself. It looks lovely and I'd happily buy more. I think the guys who made it over at, let me just have a look, pinworld.com, have done a really nice job, and they produce some really fantastic mods. Like I said, my only real criticism is that they have produced 2 mods that light up, the Mount Doom mod and this tower, and they want you to use the same connector for both. So the only way you're going to get around it is to have something like I previously showed, where you've got a splitter. So do just bear that in mind if you buy both of these together, because if you buy both the lighted versions, unless you've got something like that splitter, you're only going to be able to plug one in. I would say to mod makers, please, for people who don't want to buy extra things like splitters, try and find other connectors, maybe even up in the up there in the circuit board and such. You know, just something else other than that one connector at the front of the cabinet, because when you've got multiple mods, you're only going to be able to plug in one, like I say, unless you've got a splitter. So thanks for watching, everyone. Like I say, highly recommended mod. I think that looks really good. I love the blue. It looks so much better than the original tower, really nicely painted as well. Like I say, if you're a bit of an artist, you can buy an unpainted one, save a bit of money, paint it yourself, do whatever. Very easy to fit. This whole process has probably taken me, I'd say it takes like half an hour at most, because you've got to remove like 3 screws, one of them being a bit difficult, but that's it. Really nice mod. So I hope you enjoyed, and until next time.